Welcome to SVG-TV News for Thursday, June 6, 2019. I am Rochelle Batis with the details. Investment and other business opportunities in SVG are being explored by a group of Cuban investors who are currently on their first trade mission to SVG, facilitated by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Today, the Cuban investors held a joint media conference at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, attended by some members of the local private sector. Head of the Cuban trade mission, Jesus Gonzalez, pointed out that they are continuing to improve their trade relations with the Caribbean, which has worked very well in some countries, and is confident the same can be achieved here in SVG.
And in fact, some of the Caribbean countries have the potential to supply into Cuba. We've seen that in Trinidad and Tobago. We've seen that in Guyana. And we obviously will see that here in St. Vincent and some other Caribbean countries. Some tiny countries like St. Lucia, we've been importing, we started to import some specific sauces of the Caribbean from the Cuban market, which are, by the way, used into the tourist sector in Cuba. 287 products, free access to the Cuban market. So this is of the benefit for the Caribbean, and of course it will be of the benefit for Cuba, because we have to treat our Caribbean brothers as what they are, our brothers.
Cuba's ambassador to SVG, Vilma Valespino, noted the strong relations both countries share over the years and said it is her hope it will be further strengthened with the trade opportunities now being pursued. Minister of Agriculture, Soboto Caesar, said he would like to see increased sharing of skills and expertise by both countries.
We'll be establishing a platform for both sovereign countries to explore. I would like in the not too distant future for us to see persons who are experts in several fields in Cuba to come to St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the continued exploration and the sharing of technical knowledge. And I would like to also see a fostering of a greater movement of persons from St. Vincent and the Grenadines going to Cuba.
SVG's ambassador to Cuba, Ellsworth John, said over the next few days, a group of Cuban investors are hoping to visit several businesses.
For how we can trade and how we can establish a relationship in a very sustainable way with Cuba going forward. Not for us to just send some produce 1 month and then we don't send for another 6 months, but to come up with a plan for sustainable development of both our regions. We look forward to going to all of the different businesses tomorrow so that we can see their operation. And at the end of it, we will be able to maybe report on what we have been able to achieve. Thank you very much, especially to the media, for being here today.
The president of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, will pay an official visit to SVG next week. President Addo will arrive in the state at 9:30 a.m. at the Argyle International Airport on Wednesday, June 12th. The Agency for Public Information, API, said there will be a welcome parade, following which the president will deliver a public lecture at the SVG Community College from 11:15 a.m. Among the scheduled activities for the day will be a special sitting of Parliament at 2:15 p.m. and a press briefing by Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves and the Ghana President at Cabinet Room. The visit of the Ghana leader will culminate with a cocktail reception at the official residence of the Prime Minister at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, June 12th. With the change in venue from Calico to Kingston for this year's Fisherman's Day celebration, including the prize-giving ceremony, one businessman decided that he will have his own activities at Calico. Dean Clouden, who is one of two persons managing the privatized Calico fishing complex and also has a food outlet in the area, said that he has the support of the fisherfolk in the Calico area to host their own Fisherman's Day activity activities on Monday, June 10th, citing Fisherman's Day at Calico as a family fun day and clean compared to Kingstown. Clouden said it is only fair to have a separate event this year.
Calico. And even though it has become too big, it doesn't necessarily mean we have to move it to Kingstown. You know, we just have to make it necessary to make it more comfortable for others. I don't see why they should run and move it from Calico and take it to town. I mean, town is a dump. You're talking about, I mean, I've heard the guys on television, Calico's dirty. I mean, Tokyo is a rat haven. You know, when the rain comes, the rats floating, cockroach floating, everything's floating in the water. So it could be more dirty than to take it into town. It's a concrete jungle. Fishing is supposed to be a village thing. It's not a town thing. You know, it's supposed to be a sporting day for families to come out and, you know.
Our news team visited the Calico Fish Complex today, and while most of the fishermen were out at sea, one fisherman said he rather not comment on the issue, while the woman who had a stall at Calico last year said she was not too pleased with the experience but preferred to stay out of the melee. Clouden, on the other hand, said that 35 fishermen have already stated their position to take part in their activities at Calico.
Being a part of the fish market, of course, you know that the market has been privatized and has been privatized to myself and Calfico. They're not a part of it, but they're willing to participate in whatever I'm doing. So I have taken it upon myself to host an event for them, and they're quite happy because even without the event, they said they were not going to take part in a fishing competition in town. They have not been given a fair deal over the years, in that what they find is that the fishermen from town has been pooling together, taking a lot of fish maybe from 1-2 boats and put in one boat to win the prize. And so with their decision, we decided to have our own thing in Calico. We're not putting restrictions on any vendor at all who wants to come and sell food. It's a big fun day. Bring your kids, run up and down the park, and we're going to be giving a prize to the person that has the best tasting fish dish, that is, of $250. Just to taste any fish, and it tastes good, you win $250 out of that. Other than that, we're going to be having bouncing castles, face painting. We're going to have the filleting of fish, the quickest person to fillet a dolphin, maybe 5-6 of them. We're also going to be giving a prize to that as well.
Meanwhile, Chairman of the Fisherman's Day Committee 2019, Raul Lewis, said he is not pleased with the turn of events, but noted that a high number of fishermen are in support of Fisherman's Day activities being held in Kingstown.
I'm not happy about it, but I know and I have the feeling it's for personal reasons why this is happening. So we don't have 35. I don't think we have 35 boats from Calico alone that is entering the competition. It's the minority from Calico. The majority is from Kingstown down to Camden Park and so on, Clay Valley and so on. That's false information. But so far, we have nothing going on in Calico. Everything will be held in town. There's no changes that may. The whole ceremony and everything would be in Kingstown. It's just two guys. It's just a few guys who's trying to boycott it, and we're not standing up for it.
The annual Fisherman's Day competition on Monday, June 10th, is expected to get started at 4 p.m. and fishermen are expected to bring in their catch by 4 p.m. This year's activities are being held under the theme, Climate Change Affects the Ocean, Fish Responsibly to Sustain the Industry, and the slogan, We Fish It, You Dish It. In other news, in celebration of the 32nd anniversary of the National Society for Persons with Disabilities, a special church service was held at the Kingstown Seventh-day Adventist Church yesterday. Minister of National Mobilization, Frederick Stevenson, who was in attendance and delivered remarks, said that the ministry has been working with the National Society for Persons with Disabilities for years, ensuring that necessary policies are in place to improve the lives of persons with disabilities in SVG. Minister Stevenson said the ministry is currently working with an overseas-based advisor to develop a new policy for persons with disabilities, and discussions will be held with members of the society for their input. He said that the ministry not only wants to give persons with disabilities handouts, but to give them a hand to live their life as normal as possible.
I know a young lady who When I became minister, she was at the girls' high school. We ensured that she got access to the classroom. And when she went to the college also, we ensured that she also got access to a classroom. And today, still being at home unemployed, she's done her university degree. But we have to look out for that person. We have to ensure that she is given a suitable job as soon as possible to help with the repayment of her student loan. So the government will continue to do all in its power to assist, again, persons with disabilities here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. As usual, you would always have the support of the Ministry of National Mobilization. You would have the support of this Minister, Frederick Stevenson, who understands what persons with disabilities go through, and who have had a sister for over 25 years who had a disability as well. So I know, I feel your pain, I see your joy. When you're paining, I pain. When you're happy, I'm happy.
Minister Stevenson said that over the years it has been very difficult for persons with disabilities to visit his office because of its location. However, this will soon change as his office will be relocated where it will be easier for them to access.
It's a little challenging for persons with disabilities to access, I always say, to access the office of the minister, because I'm in a three-story building and it doesn't have an elevator or escalator to bring persons up, so sometimes I have to come and meet you where you are. But all that will change a little later on, because the income tax and revenue department is moving out from that building just across the street, and the Ministry of National Mobilization will be retrofitted in that building, and that building is a fairly flat building, and all the persons with disabilities in whatever field of disability would be able to access the building there, because it already has the ramps and it's flat, and you can wheel yourself inside, you can walk with your walkers inside, you'd have the rails for persons who are visually impaired, and all that sort of stuff. So we're going to make it very comfortable and accessible to you, the persons with disabilities here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Healthcare professionals and individuals involved in the care of the elderly got the opportunity today to learn more about dementia. This through a behavioral approach to dementia workshop hosted by Allied Healthcare Services in collaboration with the Global Senior Care Institute. The workshop was designed to sensitize the public on the many types of dementia and the behaviors associated with the disease. According to medical journals, dementia is not a specific disease but an overall term used to describe a group of symptoms associated with the decline in memory or thinking skills severe enough to reduce a person's ability to perform everyday tasks. CEO of Allied Healthcare Services, Sherry Sargent, said the workshop sought to help to debunk myths associated with dementia as well as to provide guidance to those who need it.
And I believe that this is something that is really, really necessary in St. Vincent. It is actually overdue. The reason why I believe that it is so important that Vincentians become aware and sensitized about dementia, it's because of the misconceptions that we have. We believe, and we have believed this for a long time, that dementia is something that you have to get as you age. We believe that it is a natural progression of age, and one of the purpose of this workshop is really to debunk that myth. Also, we believe that there is a lot of persons in St. Vincent who take care of their loved ones on their own. There is a lot of caregivers who are struggling, and they are basically more or less shooting in the dark. So with this workshop now, you have idea of what is happening, the progression of dementias, what is happening, and it gives you hands-on activities and teaching and how to take care of the elderly. So I believe that this is something that is really necessary.
Geriatric consultant with the Global Senior Care Institute, Simon Simone Blackwood said there are a lot of behavioral issues associated with dementia which many caregivers fear, and the workshop was to share knowledge with these persons so that they can be better informed.
I'm really excited to be here. I'm really excited to share with the participants, the psychologists, and I hope for a really interactive session, and we hope that the takeaway will be so great that it will impact the communities and impact persons as well. So there are a lot of emotions that accompany a dementia diagnosis. We look at anxiety, we look at anger, we look at aggression, and all of this is behavioral issues. So what we find, persons are sometimes scared of dementia patients because of their anger and their aggression, and because of their acting out. And persons are not really equipped to deal with that particular type of emotion. And so this is where this workshop is key. It is essential to understand the behavioral management and different therapeutic interventions you can use to work along with the dementia patient and their family.
Psychologist Patrice Jones said participants at the workshop were introduced to unique therapeutic techniques which they can use as part of the care they provide for persons suffering with dementia.
Okay, so another part of the workshop, we're going to tackle some of the therapeutic activities, right? We're going to look at play therapy, which is something very unique. The Caribbean does not have a lot of play therapists, right? So we're going to introduce them to some of the techniques that they can use towards some of the behaviors you would see coming out of dementia, like agitation, wandering, when they're just rummaging through stuff, right? So we're really going to focus on the individual, and we're going to teach them about the illness itself, the disease, dementia, and we're going to pair what they know about the illness and what they know about the therapeutic activities to design care plans so that they can use it in their own setting right here in St. Vincent.
Romaldo Rogers, a student of the Adelphi Secondary School, took home the top honors in this year's ACGC Schools Baking Competition. Several secondary and technical level institutions from across the country took part in this year's competition, competing in 3 categories. Rogers secured the top spot in the flour category and 3rd place in the rice category. Shamika John of the Camden Park Technical Institute secured the 2nd place overall position, while Donicia Stevens of the Barley Technical Institute and Nikron Andrews of the Georgetown Secondary School shared the 3rd place position. Nikron Andrews of the Georgetown Secondary secured 2nd place in the rice category, while Jadisha Hall of the Dr. J.P. Usa Secondary secured the 3rd spot in the flour category. Speaking at the prize-giving ceremony this evening, Senior Education Officer Endel Johnson thanked ACGC for its initiative to highlight the baking skills of the youth. He said there are a number of students from SVG who are studying culinary arts overseas and encouraged those who would like to do the same to remain focused.
So ACGC is giving you a start by sponsoring this program to bring out from you your skills that you thought some time ago that you didn't have. It was in you, and this competition has brought it forth to the forefront that others can see, and then you become recognized. I'm asking you now not to slight this opportunity, and the Ministry of Education will continue to rally with you, the students, to make sure you reach your fullest potential.
Johnson also thanked the teachers for their continued commitment to the development of their students.
Many times the work of our teachers go unnoticed. But to prepare our participants today, it takes a lot of work. And I know of teachers who would have spent time way beyond their daily duty, a day's work, I remember one teacher told me sometime last week that she left school 8:30, working with the home ec students. We must recognize your effort. And I'm happy to know that we still have dedicated teachers in the service.
Marketing manager at ECGC, Rachel Haslam, said the competition gives the company an opportunity to give back to the community. Haslam took the opportunity to encourage the students to keep up their good work.
Tourism is growing in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Hotels, if you all read the papers, you would see pretty regularly there's a hotel in St. Vincent and the Grenadines looking for a chef, looking for a bartender with skills. So you're on the right track to ensuring that you will be employed. And it's one of those beautiful things where once you are a good baker, a good cook, good chef, good bartender, your products sell themselves. You probably don't even have to bother advertising. You know, your products sell themselves. So remember that. And I do salute you all, and I wish you all the very best in your pursuit of these subjects.
Carnival Beat is coming right up. Stay with us.
All right.
In Carnival Beat this evening, we hear that the Lynx Mass Band is stepping up its mass production this year with an additional section. Moving from 5 sections to 6 this year, the Lynx Mass Band will present Come Fly With Me with the costume designs as aircrafts. Band leader Cornelius Thomas said that he is happy with what is being presented this year, and it will be another high-quality production.
This year we've stepped up the notch. We're doing 6 sections. We have 2 children sections and 4 adult sections. The children section is Liat and Air Canada, and the adult section is Sunwings, Emirates, JetBlue, and American Airlines. We're catering for like 250 masqueraders to 300, and we hoping to do fairly great this year because last year we placed 3rd for the Band of the Year competition. We had 1 best junior section last year. That's for the children. What I'm hoping to achieve this year is better than last year because last year, as I say, we placed 3rd, and this year is up the ladder we want to climb. And we also won King of the Band competition, which the designer for that costume is, they know him as the Giddy. But he is a Lockhart from over in the just area in Kingston, so not too far. But he's a local designer, and he is very good.
Thomas said it was financially challenging to get this year's production together. However, they are grateful for what little they have received from their sponsors.
Mass. And in this
well, actually, the financially there's be a little challenging, but I normally, whatever I get, I make it do. I just try the best and see how I could maneuver everything and get production going. Just like to thank all my sponsors, all who help, whether it's big or small. I can't do it without them, and my workers. And a special thanks to GNT Enterprises for sure. And I just keep on going and everything be good, and we are a safe and incident-free carnival for 2019. I wish all the mass band the best. All the components is for carnival as well. That we keep the festival alive and keep doing what we love.
Encouraging revelers to keep Vincy Mass 2019 violent-free. Thomas said one way they can do so is to join a mass band and participate in Clean Fun.
Yes, viewers out there, this is Lynx, as I said, and
our presentation this year is Come Fly With, and we have a price for Fit the Pocket. We have adults range from, well, our adults is straight across the board $450, and children is $150. So I'm asking you, the price is very good, and still, you know, we can accommodate you if your pocket is still a little, you know, we could even get a little discount still. So come on out, it's Links Math Band. We're located in Sand Hill, right at the supermarket, G&T supermarket compound there. Very easy to find.
All right.